Hello. This session, I want you to perform and record into Ableton your own click as opposed to writing with the pencil. So let's get to it. To do so, we need the monster bass. So we go into the instrument session, and in the instrument session, we look into ambient and evolving. So we go into tension, ambient and evolving, and we choose the slow string pad, something kind of acid, and we drag it into this gray area. This one here is an instrument, and this time we're not gonna unclick the red button because we want to play. How do you play? You need to make sure that this button with the little keyboard is there is lit up. And then on your keyboard, when I press A, S, D, that's the middle line, those are the notes. And then I have, these are the sharps. And obviously 2 and 3. So I can do etc. If you press the X or the Z, you raise 1 octave the pitch with the X, and you lower the pitch with the Z. So for example, I press twice the X, I have a higher note. I press another time until a certain limit, obviously. But we want the lower one, so I press 4 times the Z. That's what I want. That's exactly what I want. So let's try to, so to record it, we want to record it in the new session. We want to have click the metronome on, and we go in a session here where there's no other clips playing, making sure that also all the other clips are off by pressing the square button here. So you see that they're all off. And what we want to do is this passage here that I hope you remember we haven't filled in.
Although I was brokenhearted, I gave you another chance. Forgiveness is my weakness. Forgiveness is my weakness. Forgiveness is my weakness. You can lay me down, lay me down.
That's what we need to do. The notes that we need to play are C, F, G, C. Remember that the C is in our keyboard is replaced by A. And we start from the beginning of the chorus just to have a bit of time to think about it. We go back to the clip. We don't even have to press record there because we're gonna record in the clip. And then let's go. This is the chorus. I'm ready with preparing on my paper. So let me down, 1, 2, 3, 4. C, F, G, F, G, 1, 2, 3, and C. And you let it play. So let's examine what we did. We have the notes correctly, most likely. Let's zoom in here. And let's zoom in also horizontally here so we can see what did we do. So we recorded a C1 starting, we should have started exactly on this bar, but as you can see, the note is not exactly there. So let's examine our grid. Our grid is on the adaptive grid, which is usually adopted by Ableton when you record something to it, to not be too strict and cut off the nuances of your performance. And I like that it maintained the nuances of my performance, but my performance might have been late. So we go back now to the normal grid, and let's say 16 is fine, which allow us to move these notes into the right position, snapping into the right place. So like that. And I will do with the C, I will do it with the F. Look how late I am in performing. And with the G, which has to last long, and then final C, we can slam it there, more or less. So now let's hear it. Now that we've done these adjustments, the clip is way too long to start at the right place. We wanted to start exactly but we needed this space for preparing for performing, but now we don't need it anymore. So we go in this area here and we drag this selection here, the selection point start, but also the loop start, which will be here. So both starting from the C, make sure that the C start exactly after that line. And at the end, we just want to leave it like this. So we close it after the end of the C. This is a kind of a melody that we slap into the track. So we don't really need them to be 4, 8, 6 bar. It has to be as long as it is needed to be. So let's hear how it works. And so let's position this clip where we want. We recorded here just to record on top of what we were hearing from basically only the audio part, because there's no media or other stuff that we did earlier here. Now in his dedicated track, this yellow one, we want to basically bring the clip exactly here. And you know that there are different ways. You can record playing the clip and performance, but what's the fastest way? You just select the clip, Command C, copy it, go here and paste it. And that's what we did. Now we can deactivate the clip view and we press play. A nice touch and refinement would be to do some fades here, but unfortunately, we're not able to do it. So, oops. Let's examine this clip. We talk about fades in audio clips, and we did it at the end and at the beginning of the ukulele tracks. But what is very interesting, but we never saw this possible in a MIDI track. Also, the MIDI has no audio. It doesn't have to go to zero. It's just a digital signal sending out some bits and bytes. But in our clip view, we talk about the launch. Do you remember? So if I go back to any clip here, we have the launch session, the node session, but we also have this session, which is the envelope session. And let's look how that look like for our clip, the one that is here. We could basically create some volume automation within the clip. What's a volume automation? Change the volume progressively, not just the velocity, not just how is loud from the beginning to the end, but we can vary the loudness throughout. We can vary the intensity of the sound throughout the course of its note. And since this is a long sound, we wanted to fade away. And we want to do it with MIDI. We don't want to record it in audio and then do a fading audio. Could be possible. Let's do it with the MIDI. So in the envelope section, we can look for the mixer. And in the mixer, we want to look into the track volume. And so what can we do here? You see this line there, which is say 0 dB, means that everything will come out at 0 dB, so quite a good volume. But what if from when the C starts, when the final note starts, we double click there and we create, so we don't have to let the click, just we click there and we create one dot there. Then we click at the end and there's another dot. You see the dots? Then click the dot and drag it and drag all the way down to minus infinite. Okay. So the moment the C is pressed, you have a kind of volume that immediately goes down. What I really like is actually click another dot there and have a little bit something like that. So that I hear the C, but then I want it to go away. And you can obviously make this line much more sophisticated than a little smoother. You can even change the grid to and insert some shapes. So for example, let's look at this shape. Ooh, no, that's smooth, nice. Let's say that I'm selecting this and I will insert a shape and let's do this. See that it does it for you. So you can have a lot of different things. Oh, this is a beautiful shape. So let's take it and do like this. But I wanted to put down here. Well, it's quite low anyways. So applying shapes, not applying shape, doesn't matter as long as you do it. And below this level, minus 15 is what we want. So to make this effective, you need to copy the clip again and paste it again on top of it, or you just replace the old one and put the new. Otherwise, the new settings will not stay. Every time you copy and paste a clip on the timeline is existing in a different, it has a different life than the original one. So you always have to remember that. So let's hear if it works. But very important to the mix. So in this session, we looked into create a new instrument, one more called the slow string pad, but we call it a monster bass. And this, we created a normal clip by performing with our keyboard inside a clip. We take advantage of the use of the click. We use the metronome to do it so that we could go at tempo, but we were kind of free. But and we also played from the chorus into this section that we needed to fill. Of course, our performance wasn't excellent. There were some defects, but what did we do? We went into the clip and we quantized it better to the 16 grid, if you remember, to the fixed grid, going away from the adaptive grid that was just for performing. And then what did we do? We thought that we also worked, then after adjusting the position and start of the notes, we pasted into the track, we position exactly where we wanted, and then we study how to do a fade out of a MIDI clip by using the envelope tab, which is switched on by clicking on these arrows. And so we learn the third part of the MIDI clip inspector, which is this part, which will open for you a lot of artistic and creative possibilities. In the next section, we will continue building up our song.